Now, ma'am, this process, if we talk about this lyophilizer, wherein the flowers are freeze dried, right? After that, these flowers come out. Do they need some sort of chemical treatment?
Absolutely. Flowers has certain chemical compounds which requires some kind of chemical treatments to hold its character. So, texture is one character, color is one character. Like there are so many varieties of color, there is so many varieties of texture. Treatment given for the red flower doesn't suit for the pink flower or for the white flower or for the yellow flower. So, we need to segregate the flowers and then we need to give them the treatment according to the color and according to the texture of the flower. We need to give the proportion of the chemical to the binding agent and things like that. So, like this we need to work with the chemicals to see that according to the character of the flower we have to give. See, for example, in summer we get a thinner petal, but in the winter and in the conditions grown under the control condition, the petals are more firm, you know. So, the same rose flower will differ in the summer and in the this one in the rainy season. After the rainy season, flowers are so fresh and nice, whereas in the summer season, in spite of I take all the effort, still I find that flowers are more delicate. So, I need to be very careful according to the character of the flower I give the treatment. It is not that red flower or a rose flower requires this treatment, it does not work at all. We need to be conscious of, see, all this came as a part of my research. I really explored why they behave like this, on what situation they are behaving. So, all these were my research through which I had to explore. And then this is initially for hydration, like for example, the flowers are plucked about 2 to 3 days back from the farm and then they are transported, and then by the time it reaches to the wholesale market, retail market and then to the consumer like me, the flowers had already taken 2 to 3 days time. So, the flower starts losing its character, real character. So, there is a need for giving the initial treatment of protecting the flowers, and then once the flowers are protected, then it goes into the machine with the pre-treatment. So, that is one stage. The second stage is the treatment of the flower to hold its character, and then it goes into the machine. Once it comes out, it also once again goes through the chemical treatment to see that the firmness of the flower is maintained, otherwise they shatter and then the petals will start falling and things like that. So, though so much of chemical treatment is required, they are not harmful to the environment. I always ensure that myself do not contribute to the environment. I mean, I will not disturb anything in the environment. I am more friendly to the environment. So, I ensure that all my treatments, the way in which I handle everything is taken care for the protect the environment.
It's really amazing. So, the treatments are required at 2 stages minimum. One is the pre and one is the post.
Right.
And it's really great to know that you so much worry about the environment while using these chemicals. You take care of that also. That's really amazing.
Right.
Now, the next question I want to ask is, like you work on your own, you started this company on your own and it's flourishing, I would say. It's blooming in terms of flowers, and it's really glad to know that, and at the same time you take care of your house also.
Right.
How do you manage all this?
To answer my first question, yes, it is initially when I started after my retirement, when I was having the knowledge of preserving flowers and how to handle flowers and why the flowers should be cared. Now, with so much of knowledge, I realized that I'm just leaving my activity into just because of my retirement. Then I realized that I should not stop at that point, then I should continue my research. So, but at that time I was not having any kind of input or not the knowledge of how to start a business or nothing I knew. So, at that time when I was in a very shattered stage, when I had so much of surplus energy in me, I had so much of interest in me, time with me, with all these things, I just felt that I should make use of because my retirement cannot be just only with a reading newspaper or watching movie or that's not my way of leading my this one. So, I just thought, let me focus myself on my area of research and then focus more into the, because at that stage of my research it was actually, I forgot to mention that my research was with the support of Government of India. So initially when I started with my research, it was the state government that was funding through the university some small project, but later when the project stopped in between in the year 2011, I started in 2008, but in 2011 it stopped. But later I was helpless because my work did not reach any stage. At that time I approached the university to the Government of India through one of the very strong research proposal, and that came true. So, but in the year 2013, on my return from USA with little amount of exposure to the technology, then when I came here, my research funds were available. So that helped me to refine my technology, refine my process, so much of dedication with which I had evolved this methodology to finalize. So with all that effort, after retirement, sitting idle is what's not my choice. So I just thought, when I was during my college days as a scientist, I invited the director of ALIP, Association of Lady Entrepreneurs of India. She was the one who came to inaugurate one of the training program, and she happened to see the flowers bloom coming from the machine in the real state. And she was so surprised. She said, Mahalakshmi, this is one of the fantastic research I have ever seen in this kind of flowers. So I said, ma'am, I will be retiring. Then she said, if you are retiring, then you should make use of your future for doing something. At that time, I never thought that I am going to give a weightage to that. But later, after my retirement, when I realized that I was having so much of energy and then my zeal in me, why should I not do something about it? When I spoke to her casually, then she said, no, it is not the way to spend time after your retirement. Come, you undergo a training on entrepreneurship. And then that gave me some amount of knowledge on running, how to handle the enterprise, and then what intricacies we should take care. These are the things that I had learned through that small little training. And later in the year 2016, I retired in 2016 April, but 6 months of time was required for me to mentally frame my mind. So I framed my idea, and then by November 2016, I was ready with my thought of proceeding forward. And that time I had to depend upon so many companies to help me out, or the auditing company and then the patenting company, and then I had to design so many things, trademark design, packaging design, anything that has to go for the access, it has to be properly designed. So I had done all that, and then I had registered my company with the MSME. So all this was a procedural methodology through which I had to get into the company. By 2016 November, I was ready to establish my own company, and I had a full support of my family, because I had my father-in-law was alive then, who was always a motivator. He helped me to, he always supported, not that helped me, he was always bedridden, so but he was totally a supporter to me. He was a motivator. He was seeing that I really do my best. So that kind of environment in which I was able to work, and I really successfully able to manage from that day one to till day. I am able to successfully management. As you said, it is a success is not only with the finance or the profit. Success is with your dedication. Success with your achievement of satisfaction. For me, satisfaction is the major achievement, and my time is utilized, my knowledge is utilized, my energy is utilized. What more I want, it's not the money I am looking for, but everything else, if it is contributing, if the money comes, it's fine. But there are some days when I put more effort, maybe I will get profit. I'll start seeing the profit, but at present I am not with the profit motivation. I am just doing my contribution, which can attract more people to my technology, and many people come to know about it. So I can do the service to the society. So that's what I'm doing.
Really wonderful. Very inspiring, the way you have seen ups and downs while establishing this particular company. And the thought, like after retiring, people would like to take rest, watch movies, read newspapers, or maybe go for travels. But the way you have, it's a outstanding thought process, I would say. It's an inspiration for the people around, for our viewers too, so that they can get some inspiration from you and start doing something, whatever makes them happy, whatever satisfies them in your terms.
Right.
Really amazing. And family has been always supportive, as you said,
Very
right?
supportive. I have two children, and both are well settled. One is in Hyderabad, but he is a consultant for the World Bank company. So he has his own establishment, and my daughter is in Sweden doing her postdoctoral. She is also married and she is settled. So I have no encumbrances. My time is mine. And my husband is a person who is always in his own world of automobiles. So he doesn't worry about my activities at all. So since I have that freedom at home, I always dedicated my time only for this kind of activity that gives me big pleasure.
Really amazing. And what's your message for the women entrepreneurs?
Women entrepreneurs, they are so much with energy. They have so much desire to rise up in their life and be independent. It is necessary that women has to have this focus in their living, and at any cost their minimizing their energy should not be the idea at all. They should dedicate themselves. They should learn the methodology of working, and then they should be able to explore their passion. The passion which they can move forward is something amazing. It's not that borrowed idea will work. The idea that will sustain in you, and you will be able to attach yourself to that technology or the methodology, that will surely make you to dedicate yourself. And I always feel that enterprise is something very tough to handle, because especially to me, business handling is something very tough for me, because I never thought that I should go into so much of understanding about the marketing, sales, multimedia, and then our digital marketing, and then so many things adding to the business management and finance management. Fortunately, I never had the financial issue with me, because I had sufficient money to run my business. So never had thought about the money in my hand for running the business. So that was one part of it, but not all will have the same facility. However, we should not be over ambitious to take a big loan and then struggle with their management, nor get into any disturbed mindset also. So for example, especially during the pandemic condition, it was very tough for many of the entrepreneurs to handle the life without some proper finance. At that time, my way of handling was the time when I gave lot of time for promotion. I went into so many universities giving webinars to talk about my technology, so that many more people will get to know. Many will develop research interest for the working in this kind of intricate areas. So this is how I had taken. So those who are interested, they should be able to strengthen themselves. When there is a crisis, we should not be getting depressed. There will be some financial crisis, but that should not be coming in a way of, because we need to progress. For progress, we have to work for it. So patience, perseverance, and our passion, very crucial for every entrepreneur.
Really amazing the way you have, utilized the lockdown time when it was COVID-19, everything almost shattered. But you used the time in the right way by promoting and by, talking about it, forwarding the message to different people. Really amazing. Yeah. Now, one more thing that I am interested in is about the logo of your company. Okay. What is, when we look at it, it's very different and it shows that care somewhere. Yeah. So could you please elaborate the logo?
Yeah, and that's, it's a small little story, I wanted my logo to talk about my technology. My technology is about freeze drying. So that the logo should say that there is something very unique about it, because there is ice crystals and there is a flower, there is a hand which protects. So what I mean to say is, by using a technology which can process through a particular way of handling the flower, you can protect it. So that's what my logo is all about, and it's a registered trademark. So I feel very happy whenever I see my logo, I feel, oh my goodness, I'm so satisfied. Always that satisfaction in you is more important than anything else.
Right, it's very attractive. As soon as I entered, I saw it outside and I was really amazed, because it has a lot to say in it itself. Really amazing. True. And how about the name? How did you find, why this name?
Lyo Florals.
Yes.
Yeah, Lyo Florals. It's actually Lyo Florals is the first preservation company for flowers in our country, and since this technology is absolutely new, I wanted my technology to be attached to the nomenclature of my company. I wanted the nomenclature of my company to be associated with the process I was working with. So, since my logo was designed, I thought that having the similar unique name will surely make people to understand what is it about. When people try to pronounce it, they will ask me, what is this Lyo? I can tell them. If I tell it's just a preserved flower, people, there are so many ways of handling the flowers. So, that may not be really giving the right kind of meaning. So, they should understand the meaning correctly, why it is so unique about it. So, I had given the name of Lyo Florals because it talks about the process.
It's very scientific actually. The process itself is scientific.
Exactly.
There's, I'll repeat again. So, it's science, art, and of course the spirituality.
Very
when
true.
you take care of something, it's spirituality.
Yes.
Really amazing. And
I dedicate all my time. For the last 25 years, my dedication is only to learn. Every day, my day starts with learning and then ends with learning. I never, not even a day, or not even a minute, I feel happy when I don't learn anything. My learning is to how to refine myself, what is more available and how that can be incorporated in my way of working, that is what I had been focusing on.
There's a lot to discuss actually. Maybe we had to make some more episodes step by step, the process, the kind of pre-process, post-process, and a lot of technical things. But before we conclude, is there a special message for our viewers?
See, everybody has emotional touch when they give a flower. When they buy a flower, they always want to express that joy. So, when they want to express that joy, they go with the fresh flowers, and everybody knows that fresh flower withers. So, but still, because there is no other alternative, we had been depending on the fresh flowers. But when there is a technology that has already brought out a way in which you can show your emotion that is more stronger, it is possible for them to depend on this. So, I look forward to see that many more people get to know about it and then make use of it. Not all flowers have to be preserved flowers. Those special flowers, those we gift as a gift. Especially, what happens during the meetings, people give the bouquets, people give the flower arrangement, When they go out, they can't take it because by the time it would have started withering, or they feel that anyway when I take it home also it will start drooping. That with that attitude, they just leave it on the table and walk off. It's that joy of giving and joy of receiving is lost at that few minutes. I feel that if that can be replaced with the preserved flower, it makes a lot of meaning to the person giving and taking. Right. So, I feel that every consumer, every individual should be able to look into the other side of the flower than just looking at it as a simple flower, okay, a given flower, That's not the way it is. You give flower because you want to express your happiness. So, happiness when it is enjoyed for a longer time, it makes a lot of influence.
Really wonderful. Thank you so much for this. And just all of a sudden a question arose in my mind. This is about there are lots of flowers which have medicinal value, right? So, is there any, any chance, it's just maybe a stupid question, I don't know, but I'll just ask it since you have done a lot of research. Some flowers are used for medicinal purposes, they are dried up, then used. Do you think this technology might help us utilizing the better nutrients from that?
Absolutely true. This is my new focus. Right. I already started into it. This year, my 5th year, I thought enough I have been focusing more on my preserved flowers. Now it is time for me to look into the other botanicals. Either it could be the leaves or flowers or so many things that can be done with those medicinal flowers and then herbal material. We can do wonders because what happens in the freeze drying technology is the natural quality of the material doesn't get lost, only the moisture is evaporated. So, moisture is totally evaporated even in the ordinary condition, but it doesn't hold that nutrient or the chemicals that are contributing to the health. That also moves away from this. So if there is a proper technology used for this purpose, sure, there is going to be a wonderful time for us in the future. And initially, when I was starting my business, when few of the experts, when they got to know about my work, they invited me, ma'am, are you in a position to preserve even herbs? At that time, I was not ready. My thought never went into that direction. I said, sir, as of today, I am doing only with the flowers, but maybe in the future, I will be. So when I realized that for 5 years I have worked, now it is time for me to focus in differently to the other aspects of the flower. Apart from flowers, there are many things that we can do with it. Right. So initially I started with my now for preparation of the tea, floral teas, so many varieties of flowers are being used. So recently I have explored use of jasmine, use of chamomile, and then roses. So many varieties I have explored. Even the parijatam, which is supposed to be having medicinal value, even that I have used and tried to preserve it. It gives me a pleasure that, oh, I am able to come up with new idea. I am sure I am going to work on it in future days, but as of now, I am just going a little slow because I need to study more, because it took so much of time for me to understand about the flowers. It needs so much of time for exploring other things before I venture into it and talk about it. So I will take some time to come up. In the meantime, I also feel that my packaging methodology can be further refined, because people are not willing to, especially in India, I find that the moment I say anything more than 1,000 rupees, people walk away from this one. They are not in a position to afford. But in the West, people spend $600, $800, $1,000 for special flowers and then sentimental flowers. But here, people are not that much ready. So probably my way of packaging or my way of protecting my flowers that can still be retaining its character, but it can be economical. I'm just working on it. Maybe in a year or two I'll be coming up with those kind of innovative ideas too.
Definitely, all the best for that, and really amazed to know that. I just thought I'll ask a question, but you're already working on it. So it's really amazing. That's a service to humanity, because these natural remedies are definitely better than the allopathic medicines. So definitely I really wish you all the best for that research.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and definitely hope to see you soon in our future episodes. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.